Yes. I'm sorry, my brother. What is your name?
Trilla.
Trilla. Is that
Yes.
your Sikh name?
No.
What's your Sikh name, if you don't mind?
Yeah, I do mind.
You do? Okay, not a problem. We'll call you Trilla then. Yeah?
Thank you.
Can I get not a problem at all? I think there's a distinction here that needs to be made between, having what I would consider to be a potent discussion as opposed to offending. Okay? And I think you are leaning towards the word offense.
Right.
Yeah? But there are certain times when I think you have to also consider, as Brother Abdul Rahman also mentioned, certain situations where it might be fiery, but both the parties do have that respect for each other. Okay? I mean, I can vouch for myself as opposed to my dear brother Hamza. Yeah? He is very direct.
Yes.
I may not be that direct.
Okay.
But there are instances when I need to be, I will be direct.
Right.
Now, if you look at it and you take it as levels, as it were, and I ask you that, look, is there a time in the history of the Sikhs where they had to take up arms?
Yes.
Why?
To defend themselves.
Why did they not show a better or a more advanced form of understanding by not taking up arms?
No, that is one of our ways of life, you could say, to defend those who cannot defend themselves and to defend themselves.
That's absolutely correct. I don't have a problem with that, but I'm going to just ask you about what you said. Is fighting better or is discussing superior? Which one is better?
Yeah, it's discussing.
Exactly.
Diplomacy.
So is that not the highest standard?
Yeah.
Okay. If you are going to be attacked, okay, and you stood your ground without attacking back, is that a greater form of worship?
It's a greater action, definitely. Yeah.
Is it a greater action?
Yes.
But the gurus found a way to establish a principle about standing up to defend, even if it meant taking up arms.
As a last resort. Only
Absolutely.
when. Yeah.
Like I said, I agree with you. Even if it is as a last resort, you are actually confirming that human interaction at some stage in life comes to a situation.
Yeah.
Not could only fail, but it comes to a situation where arms are the only resort.
Yes, in that scenario, it's noble to take. It's honorable, noble to take up arms. Yes, I agree.
Absolutely. But now, just going back to what we said a few minutes ago, you see, the Quran has principles for us. Yeah, in 16:125, it actually tells us, argue with them in the best ways possible. Now, there is a distinction here. If I am speaking to you, and you seem a very gentle fellow, from what I've heard so far, I would afford you the greatest of respect.
I appreciate that. I would do the same.
Absolutely. I agree. Now, if I was talking to Hatun, as an example, okay, I know that I would have to speak to her in a totally different way as opposed to you.
Why?
Why? Number one, would you offend me unnecessarily?
No. Me personally,
She would.
Right.
She would.
Right.
Now, here, bear in mind what I just said earlier, okay? Where there are stages, if you have got a justification, and this one is going to be purely on a subjective basis, if you are in front of a person and suddenly you realize that they are saying something which is highly offensive, do you or would you have the right, according to Sikhism, would you have the right to respond in the same manner?
No, I don't. I'm not. Firstly, I don't know. But at the same time,
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, I don't know. But my guess would be no, because from what I understand about Sikhi, it's about showing utmost humility at the same time. So,
Trilla.
Actually, Trilla. Sorry. Say that again.
I'm just asking Trilla, if somebody insulted his mother to his face, how he'd react.
I mean, the best way for me to react is to not react, and just take the insult.
You wouldn't defend her on...
that would be the best thing for me to do, to not react and just to accept the insult. But unfortunately, I'm a flawed human being, and I do react at times. Yeah.
Well, actually, now I'm glad you pointed this out, Brother Hamza. Trilla, actually, the question therefore arises for you is this: where should the line be drawn between conduct becoming and conduct unbecoming, according to Sikhism?
Okay, so according to Sikhism, it goes to something like, when all means of diplomatic solution has failed, then it's noble to take up arms. However, when it comes, from my understanding of this, like I said, violence is a last resort. So therefore, in defense, sure, if somebody came and attacked you, it would, only be right to defend yourself and to defend others in that same regard. But
not
at the same
problem.
time, yeah, go on.
Sorry, you are talking in a physical manner.
Yeah, so basically, for example, if we use Hatun, for example, she's using words, right? She, at the same time, she's been very, very insulting by bringing the Quran, drilling holes and things like that. And I applaud the Muslims in Speaker's Corner and everywhere else that have not reacted to that and that have tried their best to ignore her, right? So I applaud that. The way they conducted themselves in that.
Sorry, that's not the issue that I just raised.
Okay. Yeah,
what I'm asking you, conduct becoming and conduct unbecoming. Now, I asked in the context of Sikhism, yes, because we are trying to understand whether a particular form of interaction, a verbal interaction, is appropriate in a given situation.
Sure. I mean,
I'm asking you, in that context, according to Sikhism, what is conduct becoming and what is conduct unbecoming?
I'm not sure, because again...
okay, not a problem. That's I can fully understand. But then we take it logically to the next step, yes? Okay. You see, if I am in conversation with you, and we are having a pleasant conversation, and a third party comes, and he starts becoming highly offensive, and then starts encroaching into what we would call our private space, how would you react?
Try to move away from that situation, try and de-escalate that situation.
And they keep coming, and they keep coming, and they keep coming. What would you do?
Again, just try your best to ignore it and evade. And hopefully they will basically cease and desist at some point. Hopefully, yeah.
But they don't, and they keep coming.
Yeah. Then
what would you do?
Again, if they're just trying to antagonize and everything else, again, just try your best to persevere.
No, I agree with you on that, and I would probably do the same. But if they keep coming and keep coming and keep coming to the extent that now they have actually come into your private zone, what would you do?
I mean, you mean your personal space? Is what you mean, right? If they're coming into your personal space, I mean, if you feel like they're a threat in terms of like they might become violent.
Stop there.
Right?
Stop there.
Yes.
Stop there.
Yes. Yeah.
When and how do you make that determination?
Again, so this is going to be dependent on probably some life experience. I've worked in the security industry for many years, right? So I have hardly ever got into any fights or altercations, even though a lot of people in the security industry, get in there to have a fight.
As a result of your security training.
Yeah.
Sorry.
As
a result of your security training. Yeah.
Yeah. I use words to de-escalate a situation as much as possible. Use distance to an extent, at least arm's length, right? And to where I feel safe. But if I feel unsafe, sure, I might, have to get physical to a degree. If I feel like it might become, if they might be harmful towards me, sure.
I totally agree with you. But you see, the question that I asked was how and when. Yeah, how does the determination, or how do you make the determination? Well, I would suggest to you that as a Muslim, we are recommended always to have discussions with the utmost respect for the individual you are talking to. However, that has to be distinguished between how you conduct yourself with them and the ideas you are sharing and exchanging. Okay, so going back to what Brother Hamza said, if he considers a particular kind of understanding in his view to be nonsensical, and he actually raises it and says, look, I do think this is nonsense, would you consider, in the context and spirit of the discussion, would you consider that to be offensive?
It could be.
Could be. but it can also not be.
Okay, yeah, sure.
So it depends entirely on the individuals who are having the conversation.
That is true.
It purely becomes subjective.
Absolutely. It's on the
and exactly, and if the necessary guidance is present within the individual engaging in discussion, then there should not be a problem, should there?
Sorry, could you repeat that last bit?
If the person engaging in the discussion has the necessary guidance in how to engage, then there shouldn't be a problem, should there?
No.
That is what Islam asks us to do.
Great, excellent. And I would encourage that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you for your time, guys.
Not a problem at all. Thank you.
Have a good night. Have a good night.
And you too. Bye-bye.
That was beautiful. Beautiful, Shabir.
Barakallah.
Thank you.
We've got one last guest.